to another session of Your Image, your public relations program on TV. I'm still Anchor-Akin Okudero, your anchor. Today, we are concluding a discussion on the topic public relations and culture, the Lisabi Day celebration as a brand. And of course, I still have the Orunto of Owo Kingdom, Chief Abiodun Lasile, who is also a cultural ambassador. You're welcome.
Thank you so very much. It's good to be here again.
And I still have in-house Dr. Kayode Akinsola, a lawyer and policy consultant.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's also a cultural enthusiast. Well, you were narrating the epochal event, and you are reflecting on the takings and takeaways and the benefits derivable so far. I want us to continue. When we look at the issue of culture and dances, how much of dances were showcased during the festival?
Now, during Lisabi Day Festival, there are a couple of dances that we actually had. But just like I said, prior to the commencement of this program, I did mention that we are eroding our values because our values kind of they are tied to our culture. And I will start, with saying that while growing up, part of those things that we do when we go to villages that we walk on a long mile. We discovered that these days it's easier for you to move from your car to your office back to your house. You barely exercise.
Going to the streams,
all those experiences, going to the farms, and our way of life. If you go to an average home today, I know you see them speaking our local language again. Even our children, they can't speak it fluently again. You understand? Such that if you bring out a con and you bring out a camd and you bring out labombal, different shades of labon, you have a lekman, you know all those things while you are growing up. You can no longer find it. I can't ask any of my children that, do you know what this insect is called? You understand? We have lost many of this. And when you even look at Egba land, for example, in the area of education, if you're a penultimate and you have actually attended the very first class of university in Nigeria, that is, if you are in penultimate year, there is a scholarship that they call AG 11 scholarship. I was the beneficiary. While I was in the University of Ibadan, I was the beneficiary of such. But do we want to tell ourselves now that we do not have people that can still now go and sponsor and have scholarships? You understand? Yes, they are doing it. But there are a number of people that can be onboarded to really be part of this epoch, because we actually had it during the last Lisabi Days celebration. But in the area of education, in the area of fashion, and when you even look at the Adire, for example, on next year, you are going to see several colors, several shades, and I'm very sure that our people are actually ready to have a better output in the area of what we should be expecting next year. All different types of dances, you will see them.
Well, something occur. When Lisabi Day or the festival is being celebrated, do we need to wear any other materials? When we are known for the Adire, is it not a day to showcase numerous styles, colors in Adire?
Now, I will want to say this. Adire, yes, we identified with Adire. There are some people who might wish to attend the event. They might want to differ a little from wearing Adire, because you wouldn't expect maybe some of our KBCs who have official, the way they actually dress, we expect that it's going to be all encompassing. But Adire being our fabrics is something that should enjoy patronage. The industry around Adire alone, if they are well tapped into, I'm very sure that the economy will no longer be the same as far as Egba land is concerned. But this we should expect more.
Well, it is all right. Orunto, let's look about the values, our so-called values. You mentioned the issue of going on, maybe that's part of tourism too. People going to local environments, farms, streams, and then identify some of these things that used to excite us in those days. What are you thinking? The cultural nuisance. What are you thinking about?
Quite honestly, we will. You know, when we say thinking, it is not ordinarily when it becomes critical. When it becomes critical, we put a lot of things into perspective. To modernize Lisabi Festival, we will put a lot when it becomes all-encompassing.
But not really to modernize. We are talking
No, we can modernize. We can't. He too will not want to go to the stream anymore. Those streams are no more there. But it does not mean that we cannot go touring to villages.
It calls for probably a modernization of those streams, making the pathways attractive.
Oh, that's what we are saying. We can't say because we want to preserve. Because what I'm trying to do is to promote and preserve. What do you want to preserve? You preserve values that are of necessity. We won't be preserving the masqueraders that used to kill.
No.
You understand? That's what I'm telling you now. So he has mentioned values. Look, we will still get to a place, except if we want to lose it. We must get to where we say, Abare. He has mentioned a lot of things. So his own growing up showed that he grew up a typical Egba person.
No,
What would I say?
Imbibing that.
What would I say? Abare to Egba. It will tell you a lot. That's the war, the theater, where there was war at the time. So if we immortalize such a place during a Lisabi festival time, we are preserving. I don't want to overflog talking about Olumo. Do you know that? Why do we have Igbe as Balogun? You know, all these are issues that many people don't even know. They just know that this title is tight. I just want to open our discussion towards that.
The issue too.
You understand? Yes, and see how our people. Yes, you see, if we say food this year, it costs nothing to do Jebe. It's just having. Didn't we there at that venue? We ate puff, samosa, rolls and stick meat. Why can't we eat adro, robo,
Akaragusi,
waleki, and all the rest? You understand? So that is still we promote it, but quite honestly, we are still mixing things up. We've got to be focused and know what do we want to do. We want to promote. What is that thing we want to promote? And we wedge it. This is the first pillar, second pillar, third pillar. We want to preserve. This is what we want to preserve. Iguroko will come. It can dance very well. Iguroko will come. Look, let me shock you with this. We introduced something many people did not know. Abeokuta Polo Club is coming. It's another legacy project. There were horses on that day. It was sponsored by Abeokuta Polo Club. The groundbreaking is going to be next month. You understand? Beautiful horses. You saw the big fat bellies. That's what is called horse stallions. It added color to it. Not only fashion now. It added color to it. So what we are trying to say is, for something to be really good, for something to meet its objective, that means there must be set objectives. Because if we look, the only thing I can see that was prominent was fashion was introduced, and likely it was strong.
Yeah.
So other things can be stronger too. So that means we can say the one for fashion can be Friday, the one for food, and they will equally be big events in this festival. Are you getting this now? So clothing, dressing for ordinarily, if not for Egaligaza, Olowoluyale will have come there with Ajere. Ordinarily, he promotes Ajere. Ordinarily, 80 to 85% of his dress is Ajere. Ordinarily, if not for Egaligaza. And that is huge.
Something just occurred to me. when you look at the sections in Egba land, I know some are noted for certain valors, some are noted for certain values, some are noted for certain heroic activities. What are you projecting?
You mean in
telling their history and showcasing the culture and the bravery and whatever.
You know what actually happened? During the last Lisabi day, it was actually meant to reawaken the sleeping giants, which I think is going to improve on every fragment and the fabrics of Egba nation. And I want to say this: there is no Egba man or woman that won't have goosebump when he or she sees what happened during the last Lisabi day. You understand? Yeah. So it's as good as we are reawakening. You understand? So we can then begin to think about, okay, our food, what are the culture, what are the festivals that are synonymous to each of the Omoyamaruns, either Itukwada, Kenta, Igbeyan, whichever. You understand? Wherever you are, you should be able to showcase it. You understand? And we thank God during the last yes, it happened. It was actually because the media, they weren't fully prepared to capture what happened during the last festival. Because we had the Gugu, we had Agemo, we had a couple of them who came, several horses, people came in group. If you will see the full clip of what actually happened, you will see that people came in group.
Did you have time for them to do interplay of display?
No.
Maybe that's why they were not able to showcase.
Yes, because the timing, the time that we had, coupled with the number of people that were actually present to showcase what they had. Because, for example, if I say that all Olomolu in Egba land should come out, I tell you, their display alone.
It must be representative.
Yes, even if they are representative, if you ask a minimum, maybe about 100 or 50 of them, if they are coming with their idea of the artifacts, that you know, it's going to be. So the thing is, I'm very sure we have started. It's going to be an ongoing thing, and it's going to be an ongoing conversations.
Orunto, in the nearest future, what are you visioning?
Yeah, we must protect, promote, and preserve our culture. I want a situation where we want to see it from individual, or we want to see people from different angles. Like I said, I have a website now ready to promote. Some of these things will be there. There will be discourse. There will be things that we must talk about. That is an angle. Some will be, and please, I want to make something very clear before some people will be annoyed with us. We are not Lisabi Festival Committee.
Oh yeah.
You need to be very sure. Egba is different. It's just an event in a program. We must be very clear about that. So we are not talking from their own objectives. Where we are talking like we participated. He's talking from his own participation. I participated as from a section.
No, that's just feedback.
Yes, it's a feedback. So I'm talking from a participation. I arrived the place at age 25. Many people did not. Many people who came there had not woken up.
Yeah.
It is right because Kabi said we must be there, and we go there. You understand? And imagine us, the launching of the book. You don't forget that there was a book, Egba handbook. There was a book launch. Yes. So a lot of things happened. So we will need a situation. From my perspective, I will want a situation that will put all these things into perspective. What we really want to do. You have mentioned how thick the variety can be, but because of time, we cannot particularly enjoy it. Because many a times, when we have festivals like that, we have put so many things on table to be enjoyed that have been rehearsed. The King's Way, I was part of the rehearsal a day previous. You understand? But it was supposed to happen in the morning, but we couldn't make it happen in the morning. But that's why we arrived. very early. So some of things will take place and will interplay each other, and that's something. But it's just neatly. I will adopt in a pavilion. You can see beauty. So kudos to the provider.
Well, another thing that I'm also looking at is connecting with the stakeholders. Now talking about youth. What's their role?
Now, before talking about the youth, I think I will regard the state government also, because it will be a disservice if we fail to appreciate the successive government in Ogun State. We could remember very well, all the efforts of Baba Oshoba when he was actually there. Benga Daniel came, he added beauty to Ulumo Rock. When Governor Musu came, he started the pavilion. And we thank God that
it was project.
Yes, exactly.
It was personal project.
Yes, it was actually personal project. And when you look at what Governor Dapo also did, he contributed, he supported, this year festival, loudly. And you can really see the importance of state governments in perspective. And if they are doing that, we must give kudos to them. And on this account, I really want to appreciate our governor. And having said that, the youth, because we have the strength, I don't know whether I still belong to the class of the youth anyway.
You are? If I am seated.
Yes, you are seated. That's why you need the class. Where you are seated. He's talking traditionally. He just said he didn't need to discuss money. Yes, I don't want to say you're an old man. I shouldn't say that. But you won't call yourself a youth. Because of my question.
And that's why I said because I'm seated. We are in some gatherings. They will say, let's hear from the youthful perspective. I would prefer to, depending on those. Yes, I'm telling you. Are you saying the Baba Abudus will be sitting down?
Yes, I do. Let me just quickly. The youth involvement, I think what we actually had, when you talk about the media representation, the mileage that that thing was able to cover, I can tell you, it can only be the handiwork of the youth. When you see somebody, you see them doing, they are doing a Shinworo. You understand? You see some of them, a number of them, they were being carried out by the youth. But this time around is a clarion call to our Babas. We really need to support the youth if they say they want to do more. You understand?
Give them space.
Give them space. Give them space. And
this is a space that was given to Gaza.
You understand?
It was a space.
Because, in fact, let me even tell you, the chairman, Shivla Labode, only brought Gaza as an idea to our group. I'm a member of a Legacy Network. And we say, this is laudable, let's support it. I began to support it. Everybody supported it. And before you know, Jack Robinson, the thing really came out. He was the one who saw it. It was because the KBACs, they gave the opportunity for such ideas. And you can really see some people are now saying, people from Ondo, they are saying, today we do that. People from Bikiti are saying, if you're able to say, you have done your own example, you will see what you are going to do. During the next and you can really see that everything is now becoming a conversations. You understand? Conversation. So, much importantly, the youth should be allowed more. And we should support them, give them what it takes for them to be able to.
Without losing, because I will be very quick to say,
okay.
Even when you give space, there must be guided step when it comes to
yes.
It's not there are some no-go areas in terms of protecting the culture. We need to know that.
Still talking about the youth, maybe in the next dispensation, we are looking at a station where a lot of probably the adolescents and the youth are encouraged with a scholarship. There should be a forum where individuals, corporate organizations who are,
you become an Elmos, you want to go to the space, you want to sponsor a vaccine. You understand? It is giving back, and that is huge. You understand? So we can give back and say, look, we used to know Itoku. Why don't we have Adun? They say a goosey of melon is no more there. What will it cost us to have a plantation of melon? You have given back. You understand? That is the kind of things. So look, America doesn't have the best cotton, but they subsidize cotton so that it can meet by 100%. sometimes 120%. Have you seen such a subsidy? Because they want the name America to be great in cotton.
You just mentioned something, and it reminded me of the presence of the Federal University of Agriculture in Abeokuta.
Okay.
I think in growing some of the peculiar farm products that is Egba-like or Yoruba-like,